Hey ladies, Tequila here from Southern Twain. One question. Have you ever thought about what your antiperspirants are doing to your body, or just pondered about switching from antiperspirant to natural deodorants? If so, you're going to want to stick around and watch this video. So I'm here today to do my review of two natural deodorants. One being Tom's and the other being Schmidt's. So today I'm going to be talking about pros and cons. I made the switch to natural deodorant about, gosh, I don't know, maybe 9-10 months, maybe even a year ago. And I haven't looked back since. There's been some trials and tribulations with the first deodorant that I used, but I'm going to tell you all about that today. So first, let me start by telling you the reason I made the switch. I kept hearing a lot about how our lymphatic system is responsible for, draining toxins from our body through sweat, through urine, processes such as that. And the lymph is actually what moves the blood through the body. So if you can imagine, if your lymph system is not on point, then you're going to run into some issues. So I said, well, switching deodorants is not going to be, a big deal breaker for me, because some things, let's face it, when you go healthy or natural, it's just not the same. But a deodorant was not a biggie. So the first one I tried was the Tom's, what is this, the Wild Lavender scent. You can see that. So I tried Tom's Wild Lavender, and for about 6 months it was good. Okay, so the Tom's, it comes in a 2.25 ounce tube. It says it has no aluminum in it, natural 24-hour odor protection, long lasting. Okay, so let's read the list of no's. No animal testing or animal ingredients, no artificial colors, flavors, fragrances, or preservatives. And I'm going to read the first 5 ingredients. So it has propylene glycol, which is vegetable derived, water, sodium stearate, organic aloe arbutinensis leaf juice, and glycerol laurate. So that may be a few more than 5. But there is a reason that this deodorant did not work for me. Okay, now that I'm looking at it, water is like the second ingredient. So if you don't know much about the way that they list ingredients on products, the first few ingredients are the ingredients that are most abundant in the product. So how in the world can you fight water with water? Because basically your sweat is water, right? So this deodorant, we were good for about 6 months, and then all of a sudden I would be at work and I started smelling like, what is that smell? Man, that is funky. And it was me. So I must have started using this deodorant before the weather got really hot here in Southeast Georgia, and I was good. But when it started to heat up, and it's very humid here, a lot of days we have 100% humidity. Like, if your deodorant game is not strong, you're gonna know it very quickly, and I did. And the Wild Lavender started to smell more like a just left the gym, you funky, you need to shower kind of a scent, and I wasn't a big fan. So that left me looking for other options. So I went to Target and I was able to find Schmidt's. So Schmidt's comes in the 2.65 ounces tube, and it is natural deodorant. It has bergamot and lime. Now let's read its list of no's. Also, no aluminum. It has no propylene glycol, which is present in Tom's, and it has no artificial fragrance. Okay, so let's read the first 5 in the ingredients list. And also it has no cruelty to animals. I just want to throw that in to kind of balance out the comparison. And it's also certified vegan. Like, who cares, because I'm not going to be eating this, but I guess hardcore vegans, they have an issue with that. So the first ingredient is arrowroot powder. And then there's coconut oil. And then there is candelilla wax and shea butter. Okay, so I didn't say the big words. You know, they do have the big words, but in parentheses, you know, they had these words that everyone knows. So I wanted to just say those, because on Tom's they didn't break the words down into layman's terms. Like, yeah, this is aloe vera juice. So whatever. Okay, one more thing. I know it's more than 5, but sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. Baking soda. Baking soda. Yes. So I have been with Schmidt's for I don't know how long. For a while, because I guess maybe at least 6 months now. Just getting good picture here. Okay, whatever. So Schmidt I like because it does hold me. Even here in Southeast Georgia, when it's very humid, it holds me. Now it doesn't hold 100% like an antiperspirant, but I can live with it. I can go to the gym, I can work out hard and leave the gym and not feel like I smell like a wet dog or something crazy. But I think that the main thing that I really like is that it keeps me drier, but not so dry that it's clogging up my lymph nodes and not allowing me to sweat. Okay, so if you don't know, you have lymph nodes located in different areas of your body, under your arms, right next to your mammary glands, which is why they say it's not good, because it could cause, you know, breast cancer. You have them on the back of your knees, inside your elbows, I believe around your neck somewhere, but those are just some of the areas, or also in your groin area. Okay, let's talk about the texture. Okay, I'm going to take the tops off of these for you guys. So Schmidt's does have more of a texture to it. You can see here, excuse my deodorant, it's very used. Okay, so Schmidt's has more of a texture to it. And you can feel that when you put it on. It doesn't glide on like very smoothly, but I believe that that is because of the baking soda. If you ever felt baking soda, if you have ever wet it with some water and like brush it over your skin, it doesn't go on smooth because it's kind of abrasive. Okay, and I really don't want to say abrasive, because when you think about a deodorant, you don't really want one that's abrasive. This does come in different application styles, but I like this the best because I am not trying to stick my finger in a little bottle and putting some deodorant on underneath my arm with my finger. It's not the move for me. Now let's compare that to Tom's. Tom's is very smooth. Can you see that? It's very smooth and it glides on. And it smells funky right now, but it glides on because it does not contain baking soda. So that's where I get the theory that the baking soda must be what gives that Schmidt's texture. Okay, other things that I want to talk about the difference between the two. I sweated a lot more. I don't know if I sweated more, but I felt wetter in Tom's. It didn't feel good. It was good because my body was doing what it was supposed to do, but I didn't feel dry and confident. Okay, and with Schmidt's I do feel more. I would say on a scale of 1% to 100%, in Schmidt's I feel about 90-95% dry, and in Tom's I would feel about 50% maybe. So it's a big difference. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is why I quit Schmidt's. The first time I used it, I actually threw away a unused tube. Not unused, but it was unfinished, because I started getting like these big lumps underneath my arms, and it scared me. So just so happened, I had a doctor's appointment. I think it was for my yearly pap smear, and I asked the OBGYN about it, and she was like, oh yeah, those, you know, those are nothing. Sometimes women get those. And I think she gave me the technical term, which, you know, I can't remember what it was, but because I was like, oh my gosh, like, could this be breast cancer or something, you know? Oh my goodness. And she was like, you know, no. But after that happened, I was like, I am not using that stuff. So I think I went back to Tom's, you know, feeling wet and soggy every day, and I read up again. And this time I Googled for like the, what is it? Reactions to detoxing underarms. And what I found out from people who have gone through the same process of going from an antiperspirant to a natural deodorant is that there is a period when your body is detoxifying from those antiperspirants, which contain aluminum and all types of things that are toxic to your body, and it's finally getting a chance to sweat and to let all that stuff drain out of your lymph nodes. And it's kind of like an acting up stage. And so my underarms were acting up. I had lumps under them. And I noticed that it was one week after I had gone to the gym. So I was trying to figure out what I could have done at the gym that made my underarms so sore. And it was just under one underarm, however you want to say that. And it was a lump, and I just felt it, and it kind of moved with the skin, and it was very, very sore. There was nothing coming out of it. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is a hair bump or something. So eventually, you know, I kept an eye on it. I'm going to show you pictures of how that looked. The bump went down, and it just, you know, disappeared. And then it happened again a while later on underneath the other arm. So this was a pattern. But when I read other people's experiences, I felt a lot better knowing that my body actually was detoxing, but it didn't do that with Tom's. And I think, again, that it was the ingredients, and I mainly attribute this to the baking soda, that it was very beneficial because it was helping to further that process, to expedite it. So I went out and I bought another tube of Schmidt's, and I have not looked back ever since. Now, do I still get those lumps under my arms from time to time, but not as often as I did when I was first going through that detox process. And another thing that has helped that I read is when you get the charcoal clay, and I picked some up from TJ Maxx. It doesn't have to be some fancy brand. And I just, you know, either use my fingers and I just slather it on underneath my arms, and I just let that dry for, you know, it could be anywhere from 5 minutes or it could be a lot longer. I might walk around my house before I take my shower with it on there. And so what that does is it helps for you to have a shorter detox period, and that charcoal pulls out the impurities from your system, from your skin, and it helps your deodorant to kick in better, and it actually helps you to need the deodorant less. So some of these hardcore naturals, they say that after you do the detox and you make the switch to natural deodorant, that it allows you to not need it as much. But I don't know that I would ever get so confident that I'd be like, you know what, I'm just gonna skip my deodorant today, and you know, I don't need it today. I don't think that's me, but to each his own. So in closing, I just want to say that I do love Schmidt's. You know, I don't know if my body chemistry changes again. Maybe one day I'll feel the need to find something else, but for now, I'm glad and I'm happy about it. I also want to say that I have two young sons, one's third and one's a fifth grader. And my fifth grader has been on deodorant for about a year now. The third grader just recently started needing deodorant, and I made the decision to start them off on natural deodorants, because once you get used to those antiperspirants, it's hard to break away because you're used to that feeling of not sweating at all underneath your arms, which is not good for your lymph nodes. So I want to hear from some of you. If you have children, would you put your children on natural deodorants, or have you put them on natural deodorants? I want to hear about your experiences with that. I know with my sons, they're very active, they play sports, and sometimes when they get in the car after practice, it's like, dude, did you put deodorant on this morning? So that brings me to the next point, which is that you may have to reapply more than once during the course of your day. I managed to get away with just applying in the morning before I head out to work, but with my boys, I bought another stick for each of them to keep like in their book bag, so they can go ahead and hit it again right before practice. So I'm going to throw some links down in the description section so that you can read other people's experiences with just going natural, you know, deodorant wise, and about the whole detox process. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Feel free to share your own experience in the comment box below. And don't forget, I need you to share this video if you think it is beneficial, to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and to hit that notification bell so that you can receive notifications when I post new videos. Thank y'all. See you later.